Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for, this is 2024 Jumpstart. So it's not for 2024. We're getting a jumpstart on 2024 with this reading. There will be full-on 2024 readings coming out as well, so don't worry about that. But let's see here what is going on for you. You have the Three of Swords in your just general current energies, and Three of Swords, of course, could be a heartbreak or a separation or sadness or kind of healing as well. So I feel like some of you, and you have the Justice card as your crossing energy. And so what I will say is like the crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you. And, you could be just kind of like healing from something just in general. You could also just be understanding that this is a temporary period of time. I kind of feel that with the Justice card, sorry, it's like stuck to the table. With the Justice card that it's talking about karma. So I feel like you could be seeing someone get their karma, or, you could be seeing the truth coming out about a situation. And so this could be healing you in some way. You do have the Devil in the area of your closest relationships. So, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing yet, because it could just be a new person coming in for you. I kind of feel that on the Devil. And again, we are going to clarify the reading, so we'll see what's actually going on there. But I also feel that you could be kind of getting some justice or balancing things out for, anything that has happened in the past, or you could be thinking about things that have happened in the past. Again, we have Mercury retrograde coming up, so, it wouldn't surprise me if some of you were kind of reflecting on the past and trying to balance out situations like in your mind, or you could be thinking about like what you gave energy to or what you have given your energy to, stuff like that. In the area of your thoughts, you have the Strength card. You've been very patient. It's like you've been waiting for something. I know that sounds stupid, but, King of Pentacles to the Nine of Cups, to me, that would represent waiting on something very specific or hoping that you can manifest something very specific. And the King of Pentacles would represent something permanent. And this does not have to be love, by the way. The King of Pentacles can be like a permanent job, something that supports you for a long time, and, something that you feel very secure in, something that you're good at as well. The thing with the King of Pentacles is that he has these grapes on his cloak. And the grapes kind of represent him having a skill. And with the Strength card here, it would say that, you have been learning a skill or perfecting a skill for a very long period of time, because, the Strength card is a card of practice. I think that's something, people don't realize about the Strength card, is that she has to do this every single day. She has her hands in that lion's mouth, and the lion has its tail between its legs. And it kind of says that the lion is submitting to her. The lion represents her inner beast, her inner critic, her inner demons, her inner voice, all that other stuff. And so it's something that she constantly has to work on. And this is showing up in the area of your mind. So, I think a lot of you have been doing a lot of work to maybe control your thoughts and things like that. You have the moon in the area of your foundation. It's kind of weird because I feel like everybody feels like this. I don't know, just feels very collective energy to me. I think nobody knows what they're doing, and that's like the secret to life, and especially right now, right? I think everybody's lost. Everybody is kind of just like doing the best they can with what they got and pushing forward. And so, I don't know, there might be like a certain amount of comfort that comes from that, just knowing that really nobody knows what they're doing right now, so just keep pushing forward, right? Personally, I like the moon, because to me, the moon can be an opportunity to manifest something on Earth. The moon does not say stop. At the back of the moon, there are some mountains, and mountains in the tarot, they can represent obstacles, but they do also represent an achievement. So, there could be something that you could achieve by working your way to those mountains. There could be something that you could achieve by, walking, by going through something where you don't really know what you're doing, but you're just like walking towards an achievement. That's really what the card says, is that, it's part of the Fool's journey. He's continuing on his journey. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but he just keeps moving forward. So sometimes I think it is just that simple. In the area of the energy that you're moving past, you are clearly moving past something, because the Seven of Pentacles is a card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at those Seven Pentacles and he's saying, is it worth it for me to grow these Seven Pentacles, or is there something else that I could be doing? Is there something different I could be doing with my energy? Is it worth it in the first place? All the work that I do, wherever you put in work in your life, right, Scorpio? It's like you could be looking at just all areas of life, like wherever you put work, and you could be saying like, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Is there something better? Could I move in a new direction? So I really feel you're just like looking at all that. I get a lot of questions here as well. It is coming up in the area of the energy that you're moving past, but again, I do get a lot of questions off of this card for whatever reason, like popping into my head, like you have a lot of questions, you're wondering about a lot of different things, and, there you go. Next, in the area of your near future, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, the stability you desire, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like the King of Pentacles is a little bit boring. He just kind of is the card of convention. So he kind of represents the way things have always been done. And it can get a little bit boring, but what I will say is that over the next few months, you have the Nine of Cups. So I really feel you're putting like hard work into fulfillment is what I'm getting here. Strength to the King of Pentacles to that Nine of Cups. It's like you're doing something that provides a lot of fulfillment. Again, he has these grapes on his cloak. And again, grapes represent something that is very difficult or challenging to grow. So it hasn't been easy for him to, put in the work to make these grapes grow. And that's what I kind of feel for you, Scorpio, is that it hasn't been easy necessarily to do the work, but or to learn some sort of skill. But I also feel that you have a skill that you should be using because it will lead to success, right? You have the Nine of Cups in the area of your next few months. Love it. Nine of Cups is a card of total fulfillment. I also feel that all water signs, I feel, should be matching energy right now. And what I mean by that is if there's something that you want in life, I would go find a person or a thing that has it, and I would match their energy. We're not talking about comparing yourself to someone who's more successful than you or anything like that. We're just talking about adopting maybe some of the habits and seeing what works for you, right? Like I'm a big fan of doing that. I'm a big fan of learning from people who are more successful than me, and then I adopt their habits. But I think there's like a little bit extra that you could add into that, right? It's like for example, I don't do really well with routines. I'm a crazy Gemini moon, right? I start a routine, I never finish, like I never keep doing it for the most part. That's also not 100% true. There are some routines that I have that I maintain, but they just work for me, right? So I think it's like you should learn from people who are more successful than you, but then like take what resonates, leave the rest, right? It's like whatever actually you can do. I think too many people like try to like force themselves to like adopt some sort of daily routine because someone's like, you have to do this. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. You have to do X, Y, and Z. But it's like for every person that wakes up at 5 a.m., you can find a successful person that wakes up at noon, right? So it's like, it's like, do a lot of successful people wake up at 5? Sure. Do you have to? Not necessarily, I think that you should do what works for you. But after going on that rant, what I would say is I would mimic success in some way with the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is about bathing in the energy of what you want. And so there's no better way to do that than to adopt the habits of what you want, And you can do this on a very small scale as well. It might be too late because I'm doing a free call for everybody today. And on that call, I'm talking about Steal Like an Artist. But one thing that I'm talking about Steal Like an Artist is that, and just like, success in general, is that if you want to be something, like if you want to be a writer, for example, it's like I always get this comment. People are like, I want to write, but I want to write this book. Should I write the book? I'm like, well, real writers write, so you have to be writing anyway. It's like if you want to be a writer, you have to write. It's like you can't just like write one book and expect it to be successful, right? So, and again, if you don't want to do it, if you say, well, I don't want to write, and I want to know that it's going to be successful, then maybe you're not a writer, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's probably something else that you could do that would work better for you. But with the Nine of Cups, it always reminds me. It like says, start small. It's like you don't have to like write 1 billion words a day. It's like start writing 100 words a day. And if you enjoy it, keep going and work it into your schedule, and then start writing more words a day after that. And it's like I know I'm rambling here, so I apologize. But what I would say with the Nine of Cups is that again, I think that there's like something you have to do like almost every single day to bathe in the energy, because that's what the Nine of Cups is about. And if you do that, I feel like you'll become whatever it is you want to be. You have the Devil. I feel good about this, Devil. I do. I feel like you could be attracting someone who is kind of like a Capricorn, number one, or has Capricorn in their chart. I feel like you could be attracting a person who's like been through something. This is showing up in the area of your closest relationship, so it's not just love, but it could be an earth sign for sure. You have Taurus here, you have Capricorn here, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was an earth sign that you're attracting in your life. But I feel like that both of you have been through it as far as love is concerned, and I say this to you all the time. I know for a fact. So again, it wouldn't surprise me if you're attracting someone who's been through it. I would keep an eye on toxic relationships just in general. It is showing up in the area of your closest relationships. So if there are people in your life who are toxic, that are energy vampires, I would avoid those people with the devil. Next, you have the Temperance card. This is coming up in the area of your or your future feelings. I really like this for you because to me it says, on like a very loose tarot level, I kind of look at the Temperance card as looking at your life and saying, you know what, I can make changes. I can make things better if I want to, or I can make things worse if I want to. It's almost like, instead of like normal temperance vibes, this is just more saying to me that you feel more in control. Like you can make things better even if they're worse. It's like I hope that makes sense. It's like I feel like you feel you're in control of your turnarounds or in control of creating turnarounds in your life. And you even end with the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior. And so there's no doubt about it that you've probably been wounded. I feel like you've been healing from wounds for a while. It's like almost every single reading I do for you says that. And so it's like you've been healing, but now I feel like you're opening up. I also feel, again, that you're feeling more in control. I feel like you're more open. It's kind of weird because, sometimes I look at the Nine of Wands as throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's like a card of perseverance, but it's like you have to try a bunch of things to persevere with the Nine of Wands. And I feel that's what's going on here, is that you're just more open to trying new things at this time, and that's going to be a good thing for you. And again, this reading is a jumpstart for 2024. So, like I said, I am going to do full-on 2024 readings. But what I would say is I would start experimenting with new ideas right now because, I think that's how you'll get your jump start, right? With the Three of Swords and the Justice card, you have this generosity card. If you are attracting a person, I feel like you're attracting someone who is very generous, who is very giving, total opposite of what you've experienced. I feel like it's just like this person, if you're attracting someone, it's almost like this is your karma, but like in a good way. Like you went through something challenging with a past person, and now you're attracting the total opposite. I feel like you're attracting someone who's very giving. I also feel you're feeling a little bit more lucky. I swear I said this to you recently. It's kind of weird. It's like, is this really luck, or I don't know what this feeling is that I'm getting, honestly, but, what I would say is it's almost like luck. Sometimes I feel if we just feel more lucky, it makes us more lucky because we feel more lucky, whether it's true or not. So I kind of get that for you here, where it's like, I don't know if it's true or not, if you're actually more lucky, or if it's just because you feel more lucky that you're more lucky. With the Strength card, what do you know? You have the Endurance card. This is your card, actually. In this deck, this is the Sun in Scorpio, and it's a card of endurance. It's a card of not giving up, which we see a lot here. Here as well. So I feel if you could just, anything that you want to accomplish, I feel if you stick with it, you are going to be very successful. So it's like you're not giving up. And clearly strength is on your mind, The Strength card, she has her hand in the lion's mouth. This guy here, he is wrestling a lion and the sun is shining on him. So a lot of attention. It is funny because, I just said to Cancer as well that the Strength card to me is a card of attention. She is wrestling a lion, she has her hands in the lion's mouth. And so obviously if you were to do that in real life, you would get a lot of attention, right? So I feel there's like positive attention coming in for you. With the Moon card, you have this Extremism card. I'm wondering, I would be careful of extremism. We have Neptune going into Aries at the end of like 2025, 2026, beginning of 2026. And, I believe that it is extremism. Neptune and Aries is like, we'll probably see more like cults, right? So I would be careful of anyone who's like extreme, just like all extreme and all like, you have to do this, be careful of that. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have this Ostentation card. I'm getting like no more settling. So I feel for a lot of you, that you are no longer settling for less in your life. This is a card of being able to tell the difference between what's real up here and what's fake down here. And that's kind of what it represents. So I feel that you are seeing, it's like you're seeing through things almost is the energy you get here. You're seeing, what is real in your life, what is fake. By the way, I don't know if I said this. This is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. So, I feel, again, you're just good at telling the difference. With the King of Pentacles, you have this Authority card. I'm pretty sure you've had this with me before. And by the way, Capricorn, by the way. So you could definitely be attracting a Capricorn. You could be attracting someone who has authority or who is an authority figure. Again, the King of Pentacles would definitely kind of be an authority figure. He could be. I shouldn't say definitely, because he could be. But, with this card, that kind of seals the deal for me. So I feel if you're looking for love, you could be attracting that. Some of you I'm getting are trying to become an authority. And again, that's where with the whole Nine of Cups right here, I feel like the Nine of Cups is saying, it is time for you to be an authority figure. It is time for you to like step into your power. If you're working online, or if you're trying to start a social media or something like that, I think that this is awesome for you. I feel this really is saying you really have a good opportunity to stand out here. With the Nine of Cups, you have the speculation card. This is Jupiter in Cancer. It's actually a pretty good card. If you are having feelings that you're going to be successful, and again, you could just be speculating. This might be in your mind. It might not. You might have not necessarily have proof that something is going to work out for you. But in a lot of ways, I feel like whatever you're thinking about doing is going to work out for you really, really well. So, I would, I think if you're having those moments, it's almost like I feel like a furnace, but like with billows, it's almost like you have these moments of where you get like really fired up about something, and then you kind of have to inhale for a minute, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's how it's popping into my head. I don't know. I hope that makes sense to somebody out there. It's like I see you like getting really fired up, and then it kind of dissipates, but not in a bad way. It's like you think about an idea, you get super excited, and then you kind of come back down. But I think it keeps happening. And if you have one of those moments in your life where you keep thinking about something that you haven't started and you keep getting excited about it, I really feel this is saying like that's the thing you need to work on. This could also be a person as well. Like if you keep getting excited about a person that you've met or that you're thinking about, I really feel this could be saying like, hey, this is like, a good person. So, absolutely go for it. With the Devil, you have this influence card. Everybody has had these weird cards of like, external influences. So if you're meeting a new person, I would definitely be careful of, external influences. Like, I have a rule that I don't allow anyone who I wouldn't allow into my bedroom with me and my partner. I would never take advice from that person, right? So plain and simple. If you're with when I'm with a person, I never take external advice, because it's like, unless you're allowing them into your bedroom with you, then why would you take their advice, right? So, what I would say here is I would be careful. Every single person has had something about like an ex coming back, but like you meet a new person, their ex comes back and ruins things, or maybe like messages you something. And again, everybody has had this over like the past couple weeks. So clearly it's a vibe, right? And, I would just be careful of that. With the Temperance card, you have this Resistance card. My favorite book of all time, one of, I should say. He talks about how when you're closest to your goal, that's when you experience the most resistance from people, places, and things. So you might be experiencing resistance here, but this is actually good resistance. It's like you're very close to accomplishing something. So, I think you need like a little bit of a mindset change or shift could be very helpful for you. Like thinking like, oh, these people, even though they can't see that I'm going to be successful, I can see it right here. You have that Strength and Endurance card. Strength and Endurance, those two together. I said the same thing to Cancer because they had the same combination, by the way. It's like that is, maybe you do have to prove something to the world. Maybe you do have to prove that you can, start that business or have a positive relationship or change your story or whatever it is. But I feel like this is saying like, do it because you will stand out. This reading is crazy because Pisces ended with this card as well. So the water signs, again, it's pretty weird. Like the past month, water signs have been very similar. Usually your readings are not that similar, surprisingly, between all three. But lately they have been. And, this card is basically a card that says, do not settle. So I feel this is saying leave behind something, because he's kind of like leaving those 8 wands behind and he's trying one more time to accomplish something. And so I really feel this is kind of like saying you need to don't settle. There's something great that you want to accomplish right now, I feel. And I feel it's kind of like saying you need to keep on trucking, right? Keep on pushing. You have this Vine card. It says seek out information that will help you. Yes. I'm a big fan of digging for gold. I literally talk about it all the time. Not really, but although maybe I would, but I love those gold shows on TV, right? But what I would say is that anything I want to do, I learn as much as I possibly can. I've become a super nerd over the past few years, but if you look for the best information and you throw out the rest, you will be very successful. So I encourage people, like whatever you're into, learn as much as you can about it. You might find some gold that can make you successful. You have this bullet that says, do not back down from opposition, show strength and fortitude. The whole entire reading is like encouraging you to face something head on and to overcome something maybe. You have this September card, and this Claw card says, be careful, do not take risks. Again, maybe something happened in September, or you went through something back in September, and I feel like there might be like a little bit of a revisitation of something here as well. I don't know if you can see my face right now, but it's like, we're getting close to this retrograde, by the way, and it's like, we had that retrograde at, like towards the beginning of the year, and I had this, a very similar reaction to what I'm having right now. So, Anyway, it's always interesting to me when this happens to me because it's like, oh yeah, duh. I was like, this thing happened to me in the beginning of the year, and then now I had like a very similar situation come up, and boom, right? So I don't know. You might be just noticing weird connections between things and like all that other stuff, and I don't know. Again, I would stay healthy and all that other stuff. You have the shark card. Take care, or there will be loss of material wealth. Everybody gets this card lately. I wouldn't be paranoid about it, but I always tell people that, just the time that we're in, whether you believe there's inflation or not, I don't care what you believe. Honestly, you can believe whatever you want, but whether you do or you don't, there's weird stuff going on with money, right? Banks are collapsing. We're going to see more of that and all that other stuff. And what I would say here is, don't be paranoid about it, but just, be aware is what I would say. You have this older woman card that says dealings with relationships with an older woman. You have the shield that says you need to defend yourself. If you have like a negative older woman around you specifically, I would definitely defend yourself from that person. Again, I also feel that this could be like someone's ex. So I would be very careful of the exes with this energy as well. But overall, I really like this. I feel like you're standing out in some way as well. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.